Welcome to the MIB Podcast, where we help you chase your dreams side by side. And now, your hosts, Mike and Talia Osborne.
What's up?
Hey,
This is Mike.
this is Talia.
This is the MIB Podcast.
Very in business.
Making it big. We're happy to see you guys today. Happy to talk to you guys. We're here in beautiful, freezing Bath, Maine. And this is episode number 2.
Yep. We just wanted to remind you to follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MIB Podcast, or you can also check us out at themibpodcast.com.
Just a reminder, episode 1 was the introduction of kind of what we're doing. Today we're going to go over our story, the good, the bad, the ugly, and
Really ugly.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun. I think that everybody's going to be pretty excited about it, but just give you a little overview. This is about you. It's hopefully helping you. This podcast is about helping the entrepreneur, the aspiring business owner to go out there and take their first steps, get going, take some action, and get rolling in your own business of your own. And we're going to talk about our business today. This podcast is not about selling on Amazon or whatever. That's just what we do. One of the things we do right now. We have a few things in the works. We'll talk about it later on. But we are going to tell you a little bit of our story. And if we had to put a title to our story, today's episode will be how to go from zero to $500,000 in sales in less than 18 months. Now, episode 3 probably going to be more like how to go from $500,000 in sales to zero in 6 months, right? So just give you a little hook there. You're going to want to hear both episodes. You want to hear all this because we're going to tell you a story of how we got started in business, and how we really. A lot of people want to go out there and tell you, hey, look, you put down money and make all this money, right? It's so easy, simple. Everybody's want to do it, and then everything's perfect,
And they don't want to tell you any of their mistakes. Well, we're not like that. We want you to hear the lessons that we've learned, and we want you to learn from them. So if we're stepping in a huge mud puddle, we want you to be able to avoid that mud puddle, and you can learn from everything that we've done. So we're going to point out a lot of the key factors that contributed to our success, and also the key factors that contributed to some mistakes that we made.
Yeah, and we want you to guys, we want you guys to learn from our mistakes. You don't just because we went and got our legs blown off in the minefield. You saw where we stepped. Don't step there, right? And that's just the truth.
Yeah. And
we just make sure that you tune in. We're going to give you a lot of good ideas that can be used in any platform, any business, any type of model, brick and mortar or online. And we look forward to you guys having a kick out of our life. Little quick introduction again, reminder of who we are, what our background is, things like that. My name is Mike Osborne. I've been with Talia here for 11 years, been married for 11 years. We have 4 kids, 4 daughters, ages 10, 8, 4, and 18 months, all girls, thanks to her. And
yeah, right.
Yeah, my background is a electrical engineering designer. I worked in Navy aircraft carriers and destroyers and a lot of different design work for the different shipyards here in Maine as well as Virginia. And Talia, your background?
As well as sales.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sales. Yeah. And I was sales for about 3.5 years. I was high up there. I learned how to I read books and figured out how to do it. And no background in it. Yeah. Good with people. Learned how to do that and did very well in that. Won a few free trips. High regards in what the region. Got plenty of pieces of paper from higher up people saying how cool I was and how great I was. And never paid me for that, how good I was.
No, they don't pay you for how good you are.
No, they want to pat you on the back. Good job. That's kind of my background. Sales, marketing, advertising, as well as engineering.
And I was a teacher for 4 years. I have been a magazine owner. I've been in sales. I have worked a couple jobs that didn't last very long. I've had tutu business. I've had all kinds of stuff that we started and found out they were not a good fit for me. And so now, as Mike said, we are full-time business owners with Amazon together. And we enjoy working together. Like, we're not the typical couple who maybe doesn't want to spend a lot of time together or only wants the couple hours at night that they see each other. We actually don't mind and enjoy spending time together. I know that Mike mentioned a couple times when he was at work that some of the guys worked overtime, not because they needed the money, but because they didn't want to go home.
Yeah.
So we don't have that situation going on here. And
yeah, we like each other. No ball and chains, no whatever. We really do work together great as a team, and we hope the same for you. Don't tune out if you're a single guy, all this stuff, or gal. This is for you too, but we just learned right away that through our partnership, I heard a while ago, after who said it, but it was like a Clydesdale, right? A Clydesdale huge horse could pull like 10,000 pounds by himself. You put two together, the synergy from that, you can pull 30,000 pounds. So not double, but 3 times as much. And that's our approach here. That we try to, in our case, what it does is it takes 40 hours of work, maybe, and turns it into 15.
Yeah.
Right. So it really helps us where we are, and we hope it can help you too. But like I said, this episode today is more about how, I guess this is the good part, right? So how we got started selling in Amazon, how we became a business owner. Like I said, we won't go too far into maybe different episodes. We'll talk about the benefits of different things we did and how you can make money doing it. It's still a good opportunity, right? But we'll talk about, excuse me, the more or less Amazon today.
Yeah, and remember, this is not a story about Amazon. This is a story about the pursuit of freedom and owning your own time and making your own money. So I guess, Mike, you want to start off telling them how you found Amazon?
Yeah, a key to everything in business is always learning, right? There's very few people out there who know everything outside of, a couple of guys I know. But literally, it's all about educating yourself and getting to just new ideas. So we're looking at starting a new business. We're looking at a couple franchises, a travel agency, different things where we could work from home, kind of control our schedule and hopefully truthfully, let's be honest, make a lot of money.
Right.
We're tired of not making a lot of money, and we want to do that. Yeah. That sounds good to me, right? So.
And we knew that Mike's contract for his job that he had was going to be ending in a few months. So we were trying to plan for our future. Yeah. It's good to have a nest egg. It's good to have a net to kind of support you just in case anything should happen. And so we were trying to prepare for that. And so that's why Mike was always looking for new things to do. And he always had new ideas, and all these podcasts he was listening to gave him, different ideas. And so go ahead and tell them about how you got there.
A lot of stuff, I listened to a lot of guys like, Pat Flynn, Vaynerchuk, Gary Vaynerchuk, things like that, where they were just good, genuine people that cared, who just wanted to give, and they had great ideas. They always had people on that had great ideas about online marketing, this and that. I just didn't have the expertise to actually pursue it. It was really, I can't build a website today. I mean, it's pretty tough, right? Like trying to go into online marketing, get that, what's the residual income, quote unquote. It's not that easy. It doesn't really exist, to be honest. And we'll go into that later. But, I did find one episode on Pat Flynn where they brought on people that were reselling on Amazon. So we were really excited about this because I found something that seemed simple enough that we could do it together, me and my wife. It didn't rely off my background and maybe marketing and advertising. It didn't rely on her background where we both couldn't be excited about it, right?
Right.
We wanted something that we could both do together as a team. So when I got my, I had it on iTunes at the time on my little Apple phone. I gave it to my wife. I took off to run some errands. She came back listening to it, and she wasn't excited at all, right?
That is quite the opposite. So like Mike said, he had all these ideas and had heard all these different business ventures, but none of them really fit both of us at the same time. And so when he heard about Amazon, he was excited about it, but he knew that I would be excited about it too. So he brought it home. I listened to it maybe 20, 30 minutes after he had gone out and come back. I was so jacked. I was like, we're doing this. I'll go tomorrow and start scanning. And he was like, whoa.
That's my money there.
Our money.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Your money.
so we he told me, you
Get
need
educated.
to get educated. And so I am not a detail person.
I am.
Yes.
Engineer.
Yes. And so it took me, really focusing in on what I needed to know. I did the research. I figured out, things about the taxes and things about how we do the business, how we shop, things like that, just so that
sole proprietorship, S corporation, things like that.
Like weighing the options of what's better, what
do I need to get started? The minimum viable solution, or I guess entry, way to get started, right?
And so I did all that research mostly to make Mike happy, but I knew that we were gonna do it, and I knew that it was easy. Yeah. Just not that it wasn't work. It's work, but it's the easiest work I've ever done.
It's treasure hunting for adults. When you actually find treasure all the time. So, to give a small brief idea of what we do is literally we go out, we scan items with a phone, obviously a smartphone, and we type in what the cost of the item is, and if we can make profit on it, usually we buy it and resell it. Bunch of different aspects in between there, like ranking and things like that. But that's basically what we do. We find items, we scan them. If they're good, we sell them. It's called fulfillment by Amazon FBA, and they ship it for us, right? Yeah. So it's like eBay, except you don't have to actually ship the item when it sells. Amazon does. They store it at their warehouse. We are the prime providers, if you will.
Yeah.
Right?
We're one of them. Yeah.
There's plenty of people who do this, and to be honest, I think over half the sales on Amazon are from third-party sellers like me and Talia. So, good business model. But to backtrack a little bit, we had to make a plan of how we're actually going to get this done. I was leaving my job. I said, in 10 weeks, my job is done, right? I knew that my contract was up. I wasn't going to get rehired, whatever, just because, that was it. So we had to make a plan. How much money could we invest into this and without me being scared? Without me being like, oh, no, whatever. So I said $500, right? $500, I'll make that on a weekend, just in overtime. We'll spend that, whatever, we'll see what happens. So I gave Talia the money and sent her off running, right? So
yeah, I was so excited. We went out, we started skating.
And we knew everything about it, right?
We knew nothing.
We knew just enough to be dangerous.
Yes. We knew
good or bad. We could have dangerous either way.
It could have went either way.
Yeah.
But, I think we were very fortunate to find some of the finds we found in the very beginning. It was not the most opportune time for us to start because, number one, Mike was losing our main source of income in a couple months from us starting. Number two, we had planned a vacation where we would not be able to work on this new venture that we had started. But we decided that we weren't going to let it stop us. We were excited. We wanted to hit the ground running. And so that's what we did. We got started right before our vacation. Yeah. And I remember, our very first purchase, which was a garden gnome that was basically like a Snow White.
Garden gnome?
And I saw it.
Garden statue, yeah.
It was a garden statue, yes.
Yeah.
And so I scanned it and I saw that I could buy it for like $15.99 and sell it for
$14.99.
Okay, $14.99. It was a few years ago. But that I could sell it for somewhere between $45 and $49.99. And so I showed it to Mike and I said, look. He was like, no, that can't be right. I'm like, no, this is what we're doing. This is right. And so we took a chance on it and we bought a few and found some other items to sell. And
we got a lot of garden stuff, a lot of Disney garden stuff. It was all at CVS, and we got back some money, extra bucks, whatever they're called. And we just sent it, and we didn't think about it. We bubble wrapped it and sent it into Amazon, and we're started. We got off the ground. We took some action, and
we just wanted to see what was going to happen.
Yeah. So we had to go. We had to go to Virginia because our parents. We didn't have anybody here that could watch 3 kids for us. All of our friends have kids already, so we had to go. 12 hours Virginia, leave the kids there for a week, and we're sitting there on the phone, and we hear Talia's phone dinging, whatever.
Yeah. We got a notification from Amazon that we had sold our first item. We were laying in bed getting ready to go to sleep so we can get on the plane the next morning.
This is like 2 days after we just sent the stuff in. Yeah. So we didn't really know, it might take 2 weeks for them to actually get it out or whatever. We don't know.
Yeah, we didn't know the whole process. And so I hear this notification. I look at my phone. I'm like, oh my gosh, we sold something. And Mike's like, no way. I'm like, yes, we sold something. So I showed him. And then we were laying there watching a movie and my phone goes off again. And I'm like, honey, I think we just sold something else. I'm like, honey, we just sold something else. And so we were both really excited. And we decided to go ahead and tell my parents about the venture because we were so excited about it. I just couldn't keep it in anymore.
Yeah, small, really, side note, we've told them plenty of times about how we're going to be rich in other business opportunities, and it didn't happen. It didn't work out one way or the other. And, this was exciting, though. And it even sparked interest with your dad because now he does this full-time now, doesn't he? He retired.
He retired to sell on Amazon.
Yeah, he retired as a teacher, and now he does it full-time.
We trained him, taught him everything we know, and he's self-sufficient, so
he finally listened to us.
He's the happiest I've ever seen him.
Yeah.
So
Ecstatic about life.
I'm just glad that we were able to teach him and he enjoys it. So
back to business. Yeah, we were literally in Cancun for a week, right?
Yep.
And every day we got sales. We couldn't believe it. It's like we're getting carpal tunnel from hitting our phone and refreshing the screen so much. We're supposed to be in Cancun and
just lounging.
Yeah, getting sunburned, and we're literally out there just every couple minutes like we broke $100 in sales and we couldn't believe it. And it was cool, I think that first, we're there for a week and we got paid. It was like that, like I said, really like the spend the money, get paid type business where we always thought, man, that would be nice. And it was real. So we couldn't believe it. So we were literally out in Cancun and we're just buying stuff to resell there, try to get some type of tax write-off. And man, it was cool, right?
Yeah.
Like we're
not, just a little disclaimer, we're not in taxes. We don't know all that stuff.
Talk to your CPA. Yeah. Ignore that part. But but we were so excited. That's the whole point was we were just, man, we made a few $100 back already. I don't think we even spent that much at that time.
Yeah.
So we were already profitable, like 1 week after starting the company.
Yep.
So we're like, you know what?
We could do
Game on, right?
Yep.
So the first month we did like $700 in sales basically that week, but then it went to zero because we had nothing left.
Yeah.
So we went back and went to freaking town, kind of, I guess. Now today it's like a joke, but $500. We said we'd spend about $2,000, $500 a week, and then after that we were saving for the layoff that was coming. But yeah, we started buying crap like everywhere, right? And everything we did was all mostly used things, right? At the beginning.
Yeah, we really learned how to stretch a dollar.
Yeah.
And when you're starting a business, you want to make sure that you're using your money in the best possible way, that you're not wasting money on things that you can maybe get deals on. So for instance, when we were starting out, we needed boxes to be able to ship things to Amazon. So instead of just going and buying boxes, which we could have done, we decided to just go to our local Dollar Tree and ask the manager there, like, hey, when do you get your shipment in? Is it okay if we just take the boxes? Because do you guys do anything with them? And they said no, and that we could take the boxes. So we started doing that weekly so that we could save money in that area and use that money more wisely to get more inventory.
Yeah. It's just about being an entrepreneur. Just make sure you go out there and preneur. Go out there and make the stuff happen one way or the other. Get off your butt and go do something. So we literally had every reason why we should not have any type of successful reselling business, especially in a place like where we live.
Yeah. At
the time, we lived in Georgetown, Maine, which if you Google it, there's 1,000 people on the whole island. And I mean, it's like no one there. Yeah. So to get to a gas station, 20 minutes, something like that,
yeah,
right?
15, 20, yeah.
To get gas. So if you're 20 minutes away, you're like screwed. You know? Like if you don't got enough gas, you're in trouble. 40 minutes to get to a thrift store. One Walmart, one Target. This stuff is very small town, like 50, not many, really, within an hour of distance. Very low population, very limited amount of places to go. But you know what? We figured it out. We didn't make any excuses, right? We just went out there and got it done. And this at the time was 3 kids.
Yep.
So literally a small SUV, 3 kids driving all over the place just to make things happen. And it was great, right? So we really had to be creative and finding different ways to get as much as we could with even the limited budget that we had, right? So, I mean, we did a lot of thrifting. Probably every day we went to find new stuff every day. Well, the drugstore, CVS, whatever, even dollar stores, we found a bunch of really good stuff there. But yard sales were just killer. We literally, right after we got back from Cancun, we went to a couple yard sales. Well, the first one was on a Saturday. I worked that Saturday, and
it was the first yard sale of the season. And here in Maine, yard selling, I don't know how you say that, is really big. So the first weekend for yard sales, everybody participates. I mean, it's crazy how many yard sales there are to go to. So I remember Mike was working. I got up early and loaded the kids in the car, and I just went for it. And I found a yard sale that had a ton of books. And so I remembered what I had learned, and I said, I'm going to negotiate. And I ended up getting like a ridiculous amount of books for like $10 because they didn't want to lug them back in the house, and they knew I wanted them, and I didn't want to pay anything for them. So I think it was somewhere around like 5 cents, 10 cents a book, which is pretty awesome. It's a really good deal, especially some of the books that we found. What kind were they?
I think to go back to that, it's like literally you're like doing them a favor because there's so much work to carry these books. I mean, they're not light whatsoever. But I mean, literally, I think you got like a naval architecture book we sold for $85. You can't get it anywhere hardly. A book on origami we sold for over $100. Tons of stuff we sold for, $10, $20, $30. I mean, that day with 2 truckloads basically full books, and a truckload full of everything else, you probably spent like $200.
Yeah, it's that.
Yeah, I mean, literally, it's ridiculous. And then, but I mean, we had to go out there and find it all. It was a lot of work. Just a lot of taking a lot of those books back and donating them at Goodwill the next day. But it was well worth it, right? I mean, pretty cool. And then along the way, we like I said, we found a couple things at CVS up front, the garden things. And then, oh man, my favorite one was the Warheads. Remember, there are some random flavored Warhead candies, Warheads. And we were buying them for literally like 85 cents. They were selling for $15 a bag, and we were selling a ton. Like every day, we sold, like 5 or 6 a day.
Yep.
And man, it was what a find. Stuff like that I still get excited about because you just don't find stuff like that all the time.
Yep. And then there's the Nerf guns. We remember Mike listened to more podcasts. He was just educating himself, and I was still trying to learn everything. But he would come home and say, okay, so I listened to this guy, and he said to look out for this stuff. So we would start adding to our inventory all of these things that we were hearing on different podcasts and things like that. So we ended up with Nerf gun collections, gaming systems, the books we talked about. And then I remember this particular Saturday, we were headed to see one of Mike's friends, and he didn't live close. He lived like in the woods somewhere.
Yeah.
And so we're driving, we're already late, and I saw this huge robot on this guy's table, and I knew it was almost closing time. And that's usually the best time to go to a yard sale, for real, because people just want to get rid of stuff at that point.
Oh yeah, they want to give it to you.
And so I said, Mike, pull over. He was like, are you serious? I'm like, pull over. I saw something. I saw a robot. And he's like, what? So he pulls over reluctantly, and I got out of the car, and I ended up finding there's a brand of robot called Wowie, and I ended up finding a white Wowie, a bronze Wowie robot, then a stormtrooper helmet.
Like 3 foot tall.
Yeah,
robot.
they were a big robot.
One was like a foot tall, one was like 3 feet tall.
Yep, and we ended up finding out that bronze one that was 3 feet tall was rare, and so we ended up selling that. I think we got it for $40-$50, and we sold it for how much?
$350.
And that was a used item.
Yeah.
So that's the even crazier
It's just we were
part.
the only people that had it. Nobody else had it on Amazon at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, they got a great deal. They're happy. It was worth a lot of money.
And we had a great find because we went out and found it. So.
Yeah. That one lot that day, I think we spent like $90.
Mm-hmm.
And a Terminator 2 helmet you found, super cool. I wish I wouldn't have sold it. I would have kept it for myself in my collection. $85. And then the Stormtrooper helmet didn't even work, and that was still used.
Yep.
Then we sold it for $30.
Yep.
And the little robot we sold for like $75.
Yep.
And man, it's just little finds like that. What a freaking difference! Just stopping and just going out and not convenient. I was late, my buddy's cookout, and then literally what a score, right?
Yeah, it was awesome. But fast forward, after all the good stuff we found in Maine, it was Mike's contract ended. It was time for us to go. So we packed up, we moved to Virginia just for a couple months until we could find a house in Florida. And while we were there, we still worked our business. That's one of the things we really love is that our business can fit in a book bag at this point. So
it really did. I mean, literally, we had to leave, obviously, to go down to Florida, find somewhere to live. So we had like a week window where we drove down, left the car there. We had 2 cars, left the car there, and then we were flying back in a week. So we had to find a place quick. But we didn't want to shut our business down. So we literally shopped right there, sent everything in, whatever. And good thing we did find a house there that we loved. Beautiful house, brand new, basically 3,000 square foot rental in a great community. And just from our income, from 3 months worth of income, we literally got approved for this house. I didn't have a job. I was, I guess I was on unemployment. I don't even remember. But I mean, literally, had no job, and our proof of income, that $7,000 or so that we had gotten through Amazon checks, were enough that we got approved for this great house, and it was pretty sweet, right?
Yeah, we were really excited. And so we went ahead and we moved. We started doing our business again. We decided to go ahead and get Disney passes.
Yeah. First thing you do when you move 10 minutes from Disney is you get your Florida license and you get a season pass.
Yep. So we got that season pass. Our girls were excited. Of course, they're all little princesses.
Yeah. So immediately it's like 4,000 degrees there, in August. And, we're sweating to death. We come in the park, and the first thing my wife wants to do is
scan
for items. So, of course, we get a 10% discount. Yeah, that's me clapping there. Wonderful discount on stuff. And I'm like, how can we make any money? Especially, this wasn't, like I said, fourth quarter, Christmas. This was August.
Yep.
And this was right before all the Star Wars movies came out. And luckily, I found some pretty sweet Star Wars gear.
Yep. So we ended up finding a Kylo Ren lightsaber, which nobody knew who he was yet because that movie hadn't come out. But people were already excited about it, already buying it. We bought it for $16, $18, something like that with our discount, and ended up selling it for around $60, I think. And so, we ended up finding a lot of big scores there. Yeah,
and we found a few things. We found like a BB-8 thing, and these are all, I think every one was a Star Wars related thing. And the cool thing is we literally kept throwing this stuff in over and over. And what we do is we get to the park, we could buy 5. That's like the limit. And we get them all sent directly to the gate, like or where you leave. And we go out for 3 or 4 hours at the park. We come back, pick up our items at the front gate. We go home. And literally, what a freaking sweet deal that was. We just kept, basically we got paid to go to Disney. We could write off our Disney pass. I'm not, whatever. I'm not a tax guy, but we could literally write off going to Disney. So this was great because we're going into the fourth quarter at that point too. We started buying for the Christmas season, right? Or the holiday season. Only problem we had right then is I had to make a hard decision. Did we start paying ourselves out of our business, out of our income? Because at that time we were probably doing somewhere around $15,000 a month in sales, something like that. I think it was like 4th month, whatever. And, we had to make a hard decision. We talked about it. We decided that the best thing to do was not to starve the business, but to really see what it could be by keep reinvesting. And I went out and got a job doing advertising. This was really a bad deal because I took this job not knowing that I would be immediately moved away and working from, Sunday evening to Friday. I was working 2 hours away in Daytona Beach, Florida. This really, there's no secret. It sucked. I got we got 3 kids, I got a wife that I actually care about. And, we want to spend some time together. We want to, attack this business, but we also know that we cannot start paying ourselves that quick.
Right.
A lot of people make that mistake. A good point is, you don't want to pull money from the business too early. You don't want to starve that business. You want to keep on feeding it and feeding it and feeding it. Because the more you feed it, bigger it gets.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people pull out too quick. And if you're excited about that, that's fine. Just, please feel free. But, our expectations were just high. We had high goals for taking care of ourselves. And, that was a reason why I had to go ahead and get that job. And
and
it's tough.
I know a lot of entrepreneurs have this thing about them where they don't want people to think that they're failing in their business. And maybe that's why they got the job. And you just can't have that pride about you. You have to understand that it doesn't matter what everyone else thinks. It matters what you know and what your goals are, and you know how to get there. So that was something we decided. We decided to go ahead. Mike would get the job. I would continue to work on our business. But we also had another decision, even though it was rough being away from Mike and him being away from the family, the podcast is married and in business. So we were separated. He was a weekend dad. I was a full-time mom while being a full-time business owner, and he was, full-time at work. And so we really had to work through those issues, whether it was me dealing with the kids all by myself and trying to make sure that the house ran well, or him being lonely, being in a hotel room for most of the week. But, ultimately we decided that we wouldn't let that slow us down. So Mike would go shopping after work hours, and we would meet up in the middle of the week on Wednesday, about an hour each way in the middle for dinner. And he would give me all the inventory he had purchased, and I would take it home and process it. And then we do the same thing again on the weekend when he came home.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really serious ordeal, like really planned out to the point program that we were running. We just really tried to make sure we could take advantage of this fourth quarter. I put in air quotes, that fourth quarter that everybody always talked about. And, it went well. It was very well worth it. I think we had what the heck? I see in October, I'm trying to think back what we did. I think it was like 18,000 in sales, which was ridiculous. Like really, that was a big deal.
For people who a few months before had no clue what they were doing.
Exactly. April, like $700 to $4,500 to $7,500 to $10,000 to $12,000, jumped to $18,000. I think whatever, so many months in the business. Then November came and Black Friday came, and we had our first $1,000 day, had our first $20-something thousand month. And then in Christmas, we did almost $35,000 in sales, something like that.
Yeah, and I'm just going to tell you, no other business that we've done has produced that for us.
Yeah.
No MLM, no other startup that we've done. So we were really stoked about what we had going on.
Yeah.
And so
I had to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
Our best item that month, and Talia hates this one because it's funny. Well, it's funny to me. It was one toy. It was Star Wars figurine set from, I think, the Empire Strikes Back. And the way I say it's funny because literally we paid retail for this, minus our 10% off. And so it was like still $12, right? Talia would literally go and buy 25 of these because the limit at Downtown Disney, which is now Disney Springs, like a little deal they have there, you could buy 25 at each store. So Talia would actually walk miles to each store that had these items, and she'd buy 75 at a time. And same thing, it was 80 something degrees. She was pushing a stroller with a 1-year-old in it, and she was buying 75 at a time, and she was complaining. But here's the thing, literally those 75, we were paying $12 and selling them for $45 each. So literally as soon as they would arrive at Amazon, we'd sell 40 of them in literally an hour, 2 hours.
Yeah.
So she complained about making about $2,000 a day.
It was so hot.
Yeah. And she did have to walk. It was hard work. Like literally, that's why we always tell people this business is very easy, but it's hard.
Work.
It's a lot of work. You gotta, it's not that tough. I mean, not that hard to do, but very hard to do. So, but Christmas was great. We had a great fourth quarter, and we had our first $30,000 month, and man, things were great. And after that point, though, I think everybody that sells on Amazon for a while, or you probably assume not knowing anything about it, right? As soon as the window where the 2-day shipping can't reach you by Christmas, like 22nd, 21st, depending on where the weekend lands, that's what I call Amazon purgatory. You basically don't get any sales. Your sales drop off. Ours did 70-80%.
Yeah.
It was like that for a couple of weeks. It ends right around probably the second week of June because New Year's and all that. Or I'm sorry, January. New Year's comes and goes and kind of slows things down.
Well, and people are getting their credit card statements, realizing how much they've spent, and they're like, "Oh, I ain't buying nothing.
Yeah. I ain't even buying toothpaste this week. Forget it." So they give up. But you know what? So that was like a rebuilding time. So right away, of course, we're like, "Hey, it's time to quit." I tried to quit. My boss wouldn't let me. Type thing. He wanted me to stay and try a little longer. I was doing really well, but it came a time after January where we had to sit down together and we're like, "Now we're done. it was really my wife told me, you're done.
I'm like, I
take this.
can't do it anymore. And I think at this point I was pregnant with our 4th child.
No, not yet.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I was.
Yeah.
December we found out.
Crap.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. We have so many kids.
So I told him, I said, I can only do what I can do. I'm maxed out.
Yeah.
I'm maxed out, and I need your help. You have to quit.
And I had a 1-year-old daughter at the time that, like every time I'd leave, if she's having issues, like she didn't hate me, or she just loved her mom, like really, really loved her mom, and she really didn't like me too much. And it kind of hurt my feelings, and nothing breaks your heart more than a kid that doesn't want you. So, it was time for me to say goodbye. It was no big freedom party, nothing huge, but, I had earned my freedom. I walked away. I did my exit interview. My boss didn't even show up. But you know what? After that, February 5th, I walked away. We're up to 8 months into our business, and we were,
self-employed.
Self-employed. That was pretty wild.
Yep. So from there, we kind of just wanted to build an empire, and we're gonna end our story here, but we want to leave you with this statement or with this question.
Yeah. So
what happens?
First part of our story.
Yeah, we're ending the first part of our story, going into the second. So we're gonna leave you with this. What happens when you have huge goals and you mix them with horrible decisions? Find out next time.
Yeah, find out in episode 3. We hope you guys enjoyed this. There's going to be a lot more to this. I hope you learned a little bit, and how you give the marching orders on the way out.
Yep. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MIB Podcast. Go out, make your dreams happen, and we look forward to talking to you soon.
Take care, guys. Appreciate you.